So a proportion is basically two ratios that are equal to each other. So let's focus. Make sure that you're on the front side. How do you know if you're on the front side? The holes are on the left side. If the holes are on the left side, yeah, but so these are called proportions. Okay? The price of 8 oranges is $4. How much would 20 oranges cost? So what we're going to do, Brian, is we're going to set up a proportion. A proportion looks like two equal fractions. So let's write a fraction equals a fraction. A fraction equals a fraction. All right, so everybody write that down.
So 4 out of 10?
Now let's read it again. The price of 8 oranges is $4. How much would 20 oranges cost? What are the two things we're talking about, like the units? What are the two things?
Orange and money.
Oranges and money. So I'm going to write a fancy O for oranges and the dollar sign. I'm going to label what we're talking about. This is going to help us set up our problems correctly. So O, fancy O, so it doesn't look like a zero, and money. Now, if I put oranges on the top, it has to be on the top of my second fraction. Money, money. So do you guys see how it's the same? Top and bottom are the same. We're okay there? All right, now focus. This is huge, and some of our grades are slipping, so we got to make sure that we're focusing and that we're paying attention. Okay, here's my shortcut to you. 90% of the time, so almost always, your first sentence is your first fraction. So read the first sentence again to yourself and plug in the numbers in your first fraction. So read the first sentence and then plug in your numbers. So we read the first sentence. The price of 8 oranges is $4. So what number goes on the top? 8. And what number goes on the bottom? 4. So you see how I have my first fraction completed? And that came from your first sentence. First sentence, first fraction. All right. Second sentence. How much would 20 oranges cost? So the 20, does that go on the top or the bottom? Top, because it's oranges, right? This is why we label. Because is this $20? No, it's 20 oranges, so that goes on the top. Do I know how much 20 oranges cost right now? No, Destiny, so we pay attention, not get in trouble because our neighbor is talking to us. And we put an X. We put an X because we don't know how much 20 oranges cost. All right. We will find out. This is how we solve this. Now, there are some shortcuts. I'm not ready to teach you the shortcuts just yet. I'm going to teach you the long way. Why? Because the long way always works. Shortcuts don't. Here's how you solve it. You're going to cross multiply. You guys ever remember drawing circles? Yeah? Okay, so what's 8 times X? Very good, very good. Yep. Most of the stuff I taught you, you've done, but you know. Anyways, what's 4 times 20? 80.
What?
So 4 times 20 is 80. Okay, 4 times 20, 8 times X. So on one side is one circle. What do I get with one circle? 8X. What do I get in the second circle? 4 times 20 is 80. Do we understand where we got 8X and where we get 80 from? Okay. I need X by itself. So now we go back to what we used to do, draw our bars. How do I move the 8? What math do I need? Division, because it's already being multiplied. 8 times X. I'm going to divide by 8. I'm going to divide by 8. X equals 10. $10. Okay? So we're using some different skills that we've have learned in the past.
So it's like adding everything that we've learned?
Yes. And that has to do a lot with math. All right. Let's skip down. We're going to skip number 2 for a second. Okay? Let's skip down to what is called number 4, even though I skipped number 3. So go down to where it says number 4, right here. You guys see number 4? A recipe? Okay, a recipe that makes 4 dozen cookies requires 3 cups of sugar. How many cups of sugar are needed to make 15 dozen cookies? You have a decimal answer. Okay. Whew. What are the two things we're talking about? The units. What is it? Dozen cookies, yes. And what else? No, you're on the wrong one. So we're on number 4. Remember, I asked you to skip number 2. We're on number 4. A recipe. So Elizabeth said dozen. So I'm going to start off with writing DZ for dozen. Now, what else am I talking about? Cups of sugar. So I'm going to write C for cups. And you're writing C for cups. On Friday, the first thing I'm going to grade from your quiz is the proportion. So like this part. If you don't have the correct proportion, I'm not even checking your answer. Okay? So, because some of my kids are like, Miss Amelia, I can just do it in my head. I know the answer is 100. Cool, awesome. I'm not even going to grade 100 if I don't see a proportion. Okay. Read the first sentence. Just the first sentence and write the numbers in the first fraction. So read the first sentence, first fraction. Read the first sentence, first fraction. Go. Okay, what number goes on the top? 4. What number goes on the bottom? 3. Okay, now the second sentence is the second fraction. I see a 15. So does the 15 go on the top or the bottom? Top, because it says 15 dozen and we have dozen on the top. That's why we label so we know where to put the numbers. Because if we didn't have the DZ for dozen, I might put the 15 on the bottom and then get my whole answer wrong. So 15. Do we know how many cups? No. So we put an X. Okay? This would be like the first thing I grade on Friday. Just this. Is this set up correctly? Did you label it? There's not a lot of math involved here, right? It's just plugging in numbers, first sentence, first fraction. So you might get half the points. You're done. All right, now, circle time. I circle this first corner. What's 4 times X? So I write that down. 4X equals, what's in my second circle? 3 times 15. 3 times 15 is equal to? No. 45. At least she's trying. All right, so we're going to draw our bars. Now what do I do? Divide by 4, divide by 4, right? Yeah, so it's kind of like what we learned, Brian, in 7th grade, where we got to break this up. So we have X equals. Now I'm going to do it on my calculator. If I were to do this on my calculator, so I have this problem, right? Yes, that's why it says decimal answer. See how it says decimal answer? What do I do with the calculator? You tell me what to do. What is it? What do I type in first? 45.
Yes, I was right.
And then
I'm smart.
Divided by 4
I'm smart.
equals?
decimal 11.2.
Yes, that's why it says decimal answer. 11.25.
I'm 25.
Decimal answer.
I'm so
Okay.
smart.
So I can check for this.
11.25 what? What are we solving for? Cups. How many cups of sugar are needed to make 15 dozen cookies? 11.25 cups. That's a lot. Well, if you've ever baked, you know that cookies, anything that's baked uses a lot of sugar. All right, go back to number 2. Can everybody start by writing the proportion? So read it. Huh? I miscounted. My bad. Happens to the best of us. Okay, did you write the proportion for number 2? Write the what? So what are the 2 things we're talking about? Pounds and money. I'm going to put P for pounds and $ for money. Okay? First sentence, first fraction. So read the first sentence and write just the first sentence. So stop at that first period. Now write the first fraction with that information. So first sentence is your first fraction. So 3 pounds. So where does that 3 go? On the top. $2. Where does that go? Bottom. Okay, so my first sentence, Pedro. Uh-oh.
Oh, you have to read the
Oh no. Did I lose him? Okay. How much will 7 pounds cost?
Wakey, wakey, it's a day.
How much will 7 pounds of apples cost? So where does the 7 go?
On the
Top or bottom?
We don't know how much there is.
Top. What goes on the bottom? X.
We don't know how much there is.
All right. So we're going to circle. 3 times X is 3X equals 2 times 7, 14. Okay, now what? Divide by what? Okay, I'm going to use a calculator because it is a decimal. I just didn't tell you it was a decimal. So, what do I do? What do I type in first? Ooh, repeating decimal. Well, we're talking about money, right? So let's round to the nearest penny.
I don't know how to round. 4.67.
Very good. So the nearest penny would be this 6 is in your penny spot. The second 6 is in your penny spot. So you look at the number, Diego, so we know how to round. You look at the number behind the one in the pennies. The 6 tells this 6 to go up or stay the same. Go up. So all of these go away. They disappear. That's the whole point of rounding, right? To make the numbers disappear. This 6 told this 6 to go up to a 7. So our answer would be 4.67. This is in the dimes, tens position. This is in the pennies position. So 67, because we're talking about money, we round to the nearest penny. So this number. When it's 5 or above, you round up, right? 4 or below, you stay the same. So if this was a 4, we wouldn't change the 6. So 4.67. Any questions? Okay, this is our last decimal of the worksheet. Okay, so no more decimals. Now our answers are going to be better. Whew. All right, number 5. Read number 5. We got to start reading these things to ourselves. On your paper, read number 5 on your paper. Read 5, paper, your eyes on your paper. Stay with us. Stay with us. Huh? You're reading number 5. Oh, did you already proportion? Oh. No. We did 1, 2, and 4 together. Okay, there is a number that is missing. It's hidden. It's there. It's hour. An hour. So what does an hour mean? 1, Andre. I'm going to put that in my pocket.
15 and then 1 is
So what are the 2 things that we're talking about units-wise? What are the 2 units that we're talking about? Money and hours. Very good. Money and hours.
I can't find my water.
Money and hours. First sentence, first fraction. First sentence, first fraction. What number goes on the top?
15
What number goes on the bottom?
and 1.
1. Where does the 3 go?
And then X.
Bottom. Because it's 3 hours. Hours are on the bottom. X is on top.
So it's gonna be the same thing, but it's like switched up.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be 50 times 3.
Mhm. Circle. What's in this first circle now? 15 times 3. What's 15 times 3?
45.
45 is equal to, what's in this circle? 1 times x, or 1x, yep. Okay, I get to divide by 1. Wow. I don't know if you guys can handle that. It looks scary. Woo! 45 divided by 1. I don't know how you guys are going to handle that.
So hard.
What is x equal to? How much money?
I mean, $15.
No. What is 45 divided by 1?
45. I'm sorry.
Bruh.
You weren't the only one that messed up. 45. You tried. Hey, I like that. It's better than the kid who doesn't try. Yes.
That's smart.
All right. We're okay? Okay. Number 6. Can you set up the proportion before I do? So, Diego, I need you to set up the proportion before I do. That's your first grid on Friday's test.
Which one?
Yes, number 6, set up the proportion. Whatever.
What number are we doing?
Or number 6.
All right.
I already said
Oh my god, Gabby's doing a
my mom's name
On
is
a
Gabby.
G field trip.
All right.
Guess my
Proportion. Gerardo, did you write the proportion for number 6?
30G
miles.
divided by 200 miles.
So I was
Good. If you were able to write the proportion without us, you're in a really good spot. If you're literally copying right now, you're in a pretty bad spot. Not gonna lie, you should be able to do this without us. I gave you time. I went to go over there, push some button that worked and didn't work. You had enough time to read it and plug in these numbers. Okay. I'm gonna show you a shortcut. So no need to circle. I'm gonna show you a shortcut. Now, does this shortcut always work? No. But when it does, it makes your life easier. Okay. It doesn't work when you have decimal answers, that's for sure. All right. So instead of circling, here's what you do. Emmanuel and Diego, pay attention because it might make the math easier. You see if there's a relationship from one side to the other side. And you start with the one that have the 2 numbers. So I'm going to look at the top. Diego, focus. Oh, good.
Wow.
How do I go from 30 to the number 15? Divided by 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15, right? So guess what I get to do at the bottom? The same thing.
division you have to do.
Whatever I did to the top, I'm allowed to do to the bottom. So if on the top I divide it by 2, guess what I'm going to do at the bottom? Divide it by 2. No. X equals 100. So our answer is x equals 100. Instead of multiplying 30 times x and 200 times 15 and then dividing, sometimes there's relationships. Excuse me?
So that just made it way easier.
Number 11 is like all of these. Mm-hmm. Excuse me? You have to stay after class. Okay, give me a second. Can you guys, okay, skip to number 10. Can everybody write the proportion for number 10 before I start? Stop, read, and write a proportion for number 10. Stop and write a proportion for number 10. I'm going to show you a shortcut for number 10. That's why I wanted you to do number 10.
Well, I already did like the numbers.
Okay, well then you're just going to pay attention when I show you the shortcut. Alright, number 10. What is the proportion? What number goes on the top? 3
Oh yeah.
cards over $5.
Alright.
What goes on the top? X cards over $20. Alright. I'm going to show you the shortcut again. I look at the ones that have the two numbers. Cover up the other ones. How do I go from 5 to 20? How do I go from 5 to 20? Times 4.
So it's multiplication.
So what do I do on the top?
The same thing. Wait.
So why this one I multiplied by, why did this one I multiplied and the other one I divided? Well, it all goes with, I went from a big number to a small number. How do I go from big to small? Divide. How do I go from from small to big? Multiply, right? And it's like, well, can I go the other way, Miss Something? Can I go this way? You can, but here it would be like, what number divided by 4 gives me 3? And some of you can do it, but some of you can't. So you always go in the direction from where you have your two numbers to where you have your x. Don't go from x the other way. Always start with the ones with the numbers. So what is x equal to?
12.
Hmm?
X equals 12. I don't know. Like, do we have to start first at the bottom?
You start with the ones that you have the two numbers. So you see how I have the two numbers here?
Yeah.
You see how here I had the two numbers here? So I started here. You start with the line, top or bottom, that has the two numbers. Don't start with the one that has the x.
For an example, if 20 and 5 switch places, can you still like?
Yeah, if it was
Can you do divide by 4?
If it was 5 over 3 equals 20 over x, then you do the top. If it was 20 over x and 5 over 3, but you don't want to go this way because it's like, I don't know. You want to go in the directions of, you see these two numbers? So that means your two arrows go this way. Why? Because I know these two numbers. Does that make sense? Here,
Still divided by 4?
well, here you go in this direction. Small to big. How do I go from small to big? I have to multiply.
So multiply by 4.
Oh, what's 3 times 4?
12.
12. Here I divide by 4. A lot of kids don't know what number divided by 4 equals 3. What number divided by 3? What number divided by 4 equals 3?
Whatever you do.
Okay, so a lot of you got it wrong. It's 12. But your brain can't process this, not this year, maybe next year. Some of it, yes, you can. That's why I want you to go this way. Go from the two numbers that you know to where the x is. Because then you'll make mistakes. Yes?
Will you ever teach us like 8th grade math?
Yeah.
She's been teaching us.
Yeah, I mean, this problem, which is totally not what we're doing right now, but I'll show you. This is 8th grade.
Whatever that is.
This is 8th grade. When you distribute, that's 8th grade. When you draw your bars, that's 8th grade.
So you should do it.
Explains why I have problems with.
But this is also 7th grade.
You gave us.
You'll do it again next year. They'll become harder.
My sister barely even understands.
Wasn't it in our homework?
I barely figured out.
All right.
I double digits.
Can you do number 8? Can you do number 8, please?
Okay.
Can you do number 8? Can you please do number 8? And there's a shortcut. So wait for me and I'll show you the shortcut. But can you do the proportion right now?
What goes first, balls or?
Doesn't really matter. As long as, like, if you put balls on top, then it has to be balls on top here. You do minutes. They have to match this way.
That doesn't really matter.
Nope. Kids usually, like, whatever comes first goes on the top.
So I can do that?
Yeah.
So I go from balls.
I already finished. I did the
Okay. What number goes on the top? 16. What number goes on the bottom? What number goes on the top? Good. What number goes on the bottom? All right, here's your shortcut. If you don't understand the shortcut, that's perfectly fine. You'll learn eventually, but most importantly is you'll get the same answer. Yes. Did you use a shortcut? Okay. How do I go? So you have your X here, right? Shortcut, Diego. I don't want to use this line because there's an X there. That gives me no information. So I cover it up. I go down here. Now, I can go here to here this way or like whichever way I want, but I really can't. There's an X right here. So I don't want to go from 18 to 9 because the X is on this side. So I need my arrow to go here to here.
So 16 times 2.
Times 2?
So x equals 32.
Yes. X equals 32. We want our arrows to go this way, to point to the X. We don't want to start our arrow at the X and go the other way because the math becomes harder. Some of you can handle it, but as a 7th grader, I don't want you to do that just yet. Because there's ways you can mess this up. Okay, why are you judging? You're assuming things. It's cool. You're jumping to conclusions.
But she was asking.
So she's jumping to conclusions, that's what she's asking. See, if she wasn't judging this, she wouldn't be asking. She would just go with
Wait,
it.
but what is it?
11.
Or can it be?
We live in the world where anything can be possible, right? We're not stuck in a box. Okay, number 11, please. We're jumping around. Number 11. No. There is a number that's hidden. It's in there, but it's hidden.
The mile is 1, no?
Exactly.
we're doing it in
The mile is 1, right? But it's hidden. But kids will read it so fast, and they see that there's 2 3s, so they'll start writing like those, they'll repeat the 3. And it's like, no, can only repeat it once. Can't repeat it. Okay, so we're talking about miles and minutes. Miles and minutes. 1 mile, 11 minutes. 3 miles, X minutes. What way? That's you can still do it that way. As long as the 11 and X are both on the top. And the 1 and the 3 are both at the bottom. So what does X equal? Did you use a shortcut? Okay, but remember on Friday, I'm going to grade this first. Okay?
Yeah, I just moved.
So when you just say I just multiplied, you're using the shortcut. 1 to 3. Oh, I just multiplied by 3. It doesn't always work. Like if you look at number 2, can I go from 3 to 7? You have to use long. Yes, most of the time, if you're gonna do the long way, Andrea, I still have 10 minutes of your life. Okay, he dropped your paper. All right, are we okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's head on over to the back.
There's a back?
You didn't see? That's why she was
Okay,
saying.
okay, relax. Okay, number 1. Oh, look. Oranges and money. I feel like we've been here before.
Yeah, we have.
Oranges and money.
What, didn't we do that as the first question?
Yes, but the numbers are different. So go ahead and write your proportion for the first
Move
one.
your Maui hair out of the way.
Stop. Okay, I need you to do number 1, please.
You just bullied
Do
me
we
in
have to
front
do the
of
fancy
you.
or OG?
What the Michael Jackson?
I really sounded like Michael Jackson.
I got a
I'm gonna take away his fame. I know you do.
Let's focus. Come on. Emmanuel, did you write the proportion for number 1? Just the proportion.
It's O and money.
So, fancy O, money, and money.
We're dividing.
Maybe. I can't remember. 12, 4, X. Oh, wait. No. This is 4. Sorry.
No.
Yay, I got it right.
Cool. Okay.
You did the other one wrong. You put 4. It's
Yeah.
supposed to be 3.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 3, not 4.
Wait, what?
You make the mistake.
I'm making mistakes. I gotta slow it
She
down.
wants to see if we're actually
So that
playing.
And you are paying attention because you did correct me twice, which is very good. All right.
I
I've got the
did
confused
it
when I
right,
put the
and
four.
I
I
didn't
thought I
think I
got it
did
wrong.
either.
All right. Yep. So, can you use the relationship here? Yes. Look. So here's your X, right? So our arrows have to go from here, pointing to the X, from here, pointing to the X. And your arrows have to go in the same direction. And then you look at the one with the 2 numbers. How do I go from 12 to 4?
Divided by 3.
Divided by 3, divided by 3. 3 divided by 3,
X equals 1.
X equals $1. Now, if for some reason you don't understand the shortcuts, guess what you're doing? The circles. You're doing circle and circle, and you'll get the same answer as we do.
It's not that bad though.
No, it's not.
I did the shortcut.
All right, go ahead and do I want you to do number 2, what is called number 4, even though it's 3. And
Where's number 3?
can you do the ones I circled?
Yeah, where is number 3 on the other side?
She said she miscounted.
Wow.
Wait.
And you miscounted on this side as well?
Well, it's literally the same worksheet. I just changed the numbers. If you realize, it's literally the same thing.
Oh yeah.
1, 2.
That's how most of the worksheets in this class are. They're the same. I just, change the numbers, yeah. So the same typos, same everything.
Did
Let's-
you really make that YouTube play button thing?
Yeah, I 3D printed it
Where?
Up there.
with a 3D machine.
You could have
Wait,
just
like
made
those
it
rewards that YouTubers get whenever they reach certain amount.
Yeah.
You get it
Yeah,
down
you have to
to
get more
the
than I think 3.
You get it down
Okay,
to the
number 2, 4, and 5, please. Proportions. And you can actually use a shortcut for these. So,
It's 3.
okay, you can personally use a shortcut on your own. Let's do these 3. Let's go. Proportions, please. I need to see proportions for the next 3 problems. Straight down. Label proportions. Label what each number means.
What if we're not done?
apples.
Can we finish it at home?
Enjoy your nutrition. That's cool with me.
I don't know, Miss O'Malley.
5:45.
I did this number right. Right there. I'm so smart. What do you mean am I?
Isn't it apples and pounds?
What do you mean
Sorry.
5:45?
We'll discuss later.
Do we have to do it for
Proportion.
All of them
I don't even care anymore.
have a shortcut.